identifying the Crescent as a place of historic interest, which would include tax exemption. Ms. Dix.
Yes, sir, thank you. As reported yesterday morning, there were some questions this past appeal season, if you will, regarding the eligibility of exemption for the Crescent through the property owned by the Garden Center. After some significant research that I have to give Ms. Lisa Bryant with our assessor's office a lot of credit for, because she actually did the legwork to find the old records that qualified the Crescent. She worked with the county attorney's office, and if you all choose to approve this resolution, then it will permanently exempt the Garden Center and the Crescent facility.
Thank you, Ms. Dix. Any questions from Ms. Dix?
Just one, Mr. Chairman. So basically, in the past, they've been paying, having to pay?
No. There was a cleanup this year whenever we went through the digest process, and there was some pushback from the Department of Revenue on some properties that we already had exempt that they felt like might not qualify for an exemption. And it really, not to get too much into it, but it really drills down into the organization's bylaws and some other qualifications and how those things are written. So we started trying to help the Crescent through that process, which we weren't exactly getting where we need to be. And so Ms. Bryant just kept digging and found that the commission had approved many years ago. There was a maybe constitutional amendment's not the right word, but there was some local legislation that was put in place here when you could still do that type of local legislation that permanently exempted that facility.
So to clarify, the Crescent main structure was exempt, but the garden home area wasn't?
No, it's all been exempt for many years. When the assessor staff started cleaning up that list at the request of the Department of Revenue, the parcel as a whole was decided to not be exempt. And so we had to go back through the process again. Ms. Lisa Brown found the documentation.
This property and parcels and all buildings that
Correct.
apply on Crescent exempt.
Yes.
That's right. It cleans it all up and gets it resolved.
Permanently.
Basically, it already had been done, you're just reaffirming that process.
I'd be honored to make a motion to approve that.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second? Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye. Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries.